Hey everybody, today we are going to do a tour of one of my favorite places in the world, Yosemite National Park in California. I've set us up with a lat long. I didn't know that you could do that, but if you search for a specific lat long, so I entered 37.69 and minus 119.7, that shows up on Wawona Road, which is one of the roads that leads into Yosemite from the south. And so it starts you in the air, and that's going to save us the time from transitioning over to the airport. So we've got that set up, got it ready to go. We'll go ahead and get launched. I'm going to go first to the kind of tail cam mode here. Starts us out flowing southwest from that point. We need to go north to get into the Yosemite Valley, where tunnel view is, the main first overlook as you drive into Yosemite Valley. So we're going to turn to the north and we'll get headed that way. From up here it looks like the river down there has rapids and all kinds of cool stuff. I've set us up at about 8:30 in the morning with just a little bit of high clouds. I did some custom cloud work just to try that out. So we'll see how this is. So, bring the power up and we'll start to dive down into the valley a little bit here. One of the things I learned on the last video is it's pretty easy to break a pits in half in flight sim. So you do need to be careful with that. So we'll watch out for the V&E there. We'll also watch out for over-G'ing. Okay, so we're making the turn here. We'll come up pretty soon on the tunnel view. You can see the road kind of winding beneath us, and the water from this altitude looks pretty good. If we get a little closer, it doesn't look quite as good, but you know what? It is pretty sweet. The road mapping is a little wonky, but you see there's cars, and I guess people are on the way to the national park. So you can see through, oh, that's pretty funny, look at that truck. Alright, so right through here is kind of your first view. Yosemite Valley, so there's some landmarks people are familiar with. You see El Cap, Half Dome off in the distance. The sun is casting a little bit of a shadow on some of this. There should be Bridalveil Falls off here to the right. It's like they maybe have the stream for it, but maybe not quite the falls. The texturing on the real vertical surfaces isn't exactly perfect. It kind of stretches. Now we'll get back down here. It's pretty cool. You can see how the roads just wind through the valley. Cars are going everywhere. The Merced River here. El Cap is right here. This is a really neat area coming up. Or right here is what's it called? I think Cathedral Beach. Yeah, right. It's one of my favorite little places through here, because you can go here right there and take a look at the Three Brothers. These peaks. I'll put them right on the nose here. Right there. Actually down here is where you can go. I think it's this bend. So you can kind of hike there, and then from this you can take a really cool picture from the ground looking up at Three Brothers, those peaks right there, which is pretty cool. Passing El Cap. We'll just keep winding down the valley. So we'll just keep going down the valley, see how Yosemite looks. We'll end up at Half Dome and then probably turn back around, get back down to the village, and call the tour done. Some of the bigger fields that are out at Yosemite. When you go hike through a lot of these, they're kind of knee-high or waist-high foliage, and it just looks like grass here. Some of them are grassy, but pretty cool. Let's see if we can see any of the village. So right here I've taken a picture of Half Dome with some star trails. Do a quick loop right here. Yeah, there's some of the village. That's cool. Check that out. By loop, I just meant turn. Yeah, and this is one of the trailheads right over here. So that's cool. All right, we'll flip back around to the east. I love how the lens flares and the shine and all that look. This is one of the cleanest cloth covered pits I've ever seen, but it looks really, really good. There's some, oh my gosh, there's looks like travel trailers or something down there. That's cool. So we've got the campgrounds back here. Actually, I don't know if that was one of the campgrounds. This is another one of the fields, and there used to be a really cool tree right in the middle of this field. And you can kind of see Half Dome from it. And just stay right in the tone here as we bend it back around. And then right over here are some of the campgrounds. This is where the little cabins, the cloth-covered cabins are, and there's some kind of trailer camping and tent camping back here. Some horse stables as you go towards the back. We'll see if we can see Mirror Lake up here on the left. You certainly see Half Dome right off the nose. How about that? Water's really pretty. That goes way back up into the back end of the valley. Let's see how slow we can get over the top here. Just kick the rudder, bring it back around, go down the face a little bit. You can see some of the trees are in the texture there, but not actually real 3D objects. Just so everybody knows, this is a little bit of an older computer, but it's a pretty fast one. Of the first Haswell E Intel processors, an i7 6-core, and it's got a GTX 1660 Super, so it's pretty fast. It's not a 2000 series or whenever the 3000 series comes out. Not that fast. We're not doing any fancy real-time ray tracing or anything with this, but it still does really well. I've been running on high detail, and it's been really good. So we'll just sneak up here to the face a little bit, see if we see any hikers maybe. Go by the cables and say hi. Go down the backside. There's some really cool waterfalls back here. Vernal and I don't remember the other one. Nevada maybe. But super cool little valley back here that you can hike to, kind of from the back end around the side of Half Dome. So this is something that you cannot do for real. So this is, all this airspace is closed to traffic. You have to stay above, 3,000 feet above the ground or whatever the current rule is for there. But this is cool. You get to do this in the sim. Pretty fun. Let's see how we look over here. So this is a serious wall off to our right. Just flow up this way a little bit and then back around to the right. You can see the pits here still hunts a little bit. See it kind of wobble back and forth again. I'm not sure if that's quite sure if that's the sim or my old joystick, but if nothing else, we'll get some cool sun views here. Just keep the climb coming, and Look like we can make that one though. So we'll get the nose back down and get back to a little bit of climbing airspeed and just keep it coming up. It's just super pretty. You can see the texture on the, the covering on the wings. It's really cool. So this would be one of those things you wouldn't want to do in real life, right? So if there's any wind, then it could be some pretty nasty wind shear currents, that kind of stuff around the backside of any hills. But also you put yourself in a corner here where there's potentially no way out. So the cool thing with sim is you can kind of explore that, see where the bounds are, and even get yourself in trouble and kind of learn about flying that way. See what you can do with this much power. Compare the different airplanes if you want. So clearly I like just flying into the sun. So I'm going to a little zoom here, kind of wing over the side. Just super pretty, right? So there you go. We have done a lap of Yosemite Valley in Yosemite National Park. There's certainly way more to the park, but we're not going to take time to explore it all. But pretty fun just to cruise down the valley. You don't get to do that for real. So hope everybody had fun. See you later.